By pressing play, you've been transported to a dimension where there will be no apologies given for the abstract and asinine comments made here by the host and their guests. With that being said, thank you for listening and enjoy your experience.
We are Shoguns.
We are masters.
Are you ready?
For episode 33 of the most ridiculously random pop culture podcast in the 719.
Yo, where the captions at?
Yo, where the captions at? Where the captions at? Where they at, yo? Where they at? Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, baby. Y'all already know what it is. It's another episode of this random shit, guys. And always, I'm yours truly, Kels for Show, aka For Show Nuff. Joined here with me always is my bro host.
You know who it is, the one and only Roscoe Tinkoya.
Also here with us is none other than Danny D. Rojas.
I told you many weeks, Danny D. Rojas is my dad.
No, I spell it different though.
No, that's literally his name.
No, it's Danny, then it's D.
That's, his middle
But
initial.
D is short for Danny, which is short for Daniel, so it's all four of them.
Basically, he's saying your middle name is Daniel.
You're four-dimensional, Rojas. I got you. You can't be wrapped up in one D. You're too dynamic for that.
So many inside jokes on that one.
I'm gonna... Hi, guys.
Word. And joining us today is a special guest. I'm going to refer to him as one of the mystical Negroes of Colorado Springs. Just like myself, we're kind of like the legendary birds in Pokemon. You know, I will fancy myself as Zapdos. You could say he's more like an Articuno. He's very chill and stoic. Like, he's one of the...
Just call him a coon?
No, Articuno. Baby, no, don't do that. And if I did, it's because his favorite character is Eric Cartman. Because sometimes Coon need to have some friends, baby.
I mean, he is the best superhero of all time, the Coon.
Yo, but he's one of those cats that you like, yo, you be everywhere. Like, you be everywhere. And people like, yo, I be everywhere. So when you see me and him together, you be like, yo, this is real weird. And if you get Earl together, like a Bermuda Triangle or some shit might open up. Because we the type of Negroes you always see in town. But it's none other.
That's how you open up the third gates of hell.
Than the one, the only, Tyree.
Yo, what's up? How's it going?
Yes, that's him. You heard it here. Tyree is on the podcast, y'all. So you know we official now, baby. We official. And if you haven't officially became a captioner, make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe to the Escaping Network YouTube page.
Wouldn't that... Technically, wouldn't them be called... No, because we ain't... Put a pin on that.
No, the pin is there. And it is pulled. Because we're blowing up, baby. Yeah, we have 14 subscribers. Because that's 14 more than 0, baby. It's all up from here, guys. And so, if you're not familiar with the program, we like to start it off with, yo, what's poppin'? And that's why we go around the world of pop culture and geekdom and talk about some headlines that have happened and that have been announced over the last week. And we're just going to start this off with how we normally been doing that with wrestling.
So, in the wrestling spirit world, Kylie Ray has now officially retired from being a pro wrestler. She's only about 20-something. She first was introduced and signed to AEW. She was actually the first person to ask for their release, and they gave it to her. She went to Impact, and as of yesterday on her Patreon, she alerted to all her Patreon fans she's no longer a wrestler. She's going to take a break off of social media and all that.
Word.
And all that. But on other fun, still sad news, some WWE wrestlers have suspended their Twitch because of, Big Daddy Vince told people that they can't use third-party streaming platforms that isn't beneficial to them. And it's done went on kind of wrong because some of these people, a.k.a. Paige, who's broke her neck twice for the company, had to stop wrestling, been wrestling since a fetus.
So Vince wants all the monies. And is that in their contract?
Not in their contract or none of that. Supposedly they're rewriting the contract, and from the rumor mill, the reason why they did want these wrestlers to stop this is because supposedly WWE is supposed to relaunch their Twitch account. And
they want everybody to be underneath that.
Some shape or form. And the thing is, it's not that great when you're trying to tell people during the pandemic, stop doing what you could stop doing what we probably are not going to give you money for. And also part of the reasons is supposedly they might get this Twitch stuff renegotiated into the deal. So technically, they'll probably even lose more money for streaming through Twitch.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like,
it's
because
weird.
Vince, you already got money. You should want them to be as creative as they can. So if they're on Twitch, people on Twitch are more likely to come fuck with them in the wrestling ring. So you still could get fans, but you want because he's a capitalist.
It's
like,
not even just
talking about that shit, and they want all the money.
It's not even just that. It's the fact that literally their goal is to try to steal as much 18 to 25 demographic people from AEW.
It is.
The thing is, Twitch is where the 18 to 25 people are at.
No, I get that.
And Vince isn't.
Yeah, that's
Vince so old school that he's not contemplating that the more of his wrestling fans, the more of his wrestling people bring in more people, that adds in more.
No,
revenue.
we're literally saying the same
But
thing.
the thing
I agree
is,
with that. I'm just saying Vince coming from where he's at with his money, he wants that. That's why he can't see the vision. That's why you need people like Hunter and the younger people, because he's just so focused on his bottom dollar.
But it's still. But the thing is, even with Hunter and them, which I will say, Triple H ran his first major brand. He ran SmackDown last Friday.
Word.
So everything that was written, storyline and all that was through Triple H. But the thing is, even with Triple H and them still there, it's whatever he still says goes. So even if Triple H and them are telling them this is how it's gonna work, if he says fuck all that noise, it's still fuck all that noise.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
That's literally what he's been. That's literally what he's been saying, because technically most of the people that are on Twitch are literally outside of AJ Styles, Selena, and Aleister Black, Cesar, but all the rest of the people are from NXT are known for streaming. Like literally the whole Up Down crew all has their own streaming site.
We're basically both saying ketchup is red at the end of the day.
Ketchup is red and Vince is stupid.
Yeah.
Anything
else in wrestling?
Yes, we have had some wrestlers pass away, some old school wrestlers. I can't think of the name off the top. As well as this Saturday should be Full Gear, so y'all should get results on that information when it comes in.
Word. Moving on wrestling, any gaming news? I know, Tyree, you a gamer. Anything that's happened out the last week you want to talk about?
Sony stopped people from making faceplates.
Yeah, they can't do custom plates no more.
They can't do custom plates, so
that's weird.
On the PS5, so there was this company called Play Something Station, and Sony used their lawyers to stop them from doing anything, like a cease and desist, or they were going to sue them and take everything from them.
And literally, this company is known for just making custom plate covers for people, so they could just buy it and cover it up. Literally, give their PlayStation PlayStations extra
customization,
extra little bit of feeling.
That's
now Sony
crazy.
said, we want all the money.
So is Sony going to do their own,
No.
or they say no? You gonna get this console?
You getting
the
it
way
only
we give
in you only getting it in white.
Damn.
For now, because you know they're gonna come out with the limited edition crazy ones.
They don't have to drop a Miles one at some point, especially if they're gonna give us that Crimson Crowd outfit.
I feel like the first one that's gonna be a new custom is gonna be God of War.
Yeah, it's gonna probably be God of War.
Kratos.
Yeah.
Word, I can see that shit. That shit slap. Shit. All right, so switching from video games, I'm gonna just talk about a little comic book real quick. Over this week, The Last Ronin came out. It's a Ninja Turtle story, and that shit was good. It was so good. Like, even comic book YouTubers that don't follow the Ninja Turtles were reviewing this comic book, and it's basically a tale that starts in the future. And for most of the issue, we don't know which turtle it is. I won't spoil it for you. But you find out at the end which one it was. But we couldn't find out that his other brothers have died somewhere, and he's trying to get revenge on Shredder's grandson for doing this.
Because he killed him 10 years prior.
Yeah, so wherever this goes, I'm going to be reading it. I'm going to be following it. And I'm just glad that we get a new dark and gritty Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle story that once again shows that the turtles come in all shapes, and sizes. And even today, because a lot of people gave the last Turtle movie shit because they went from a place of April O'Neil, like naming the turtles and raising Splinter, this, that, and the third in laboratory. I just found out that is the basis of the IDW storyline. I was like, oh shit, so they actually based this on a comic book art and it worked on the comic book. We just didn't like it
as a
as a
media
whole before
joint,
the
but
media could
yet-
make use of it being presented differently. But now that I found out that, I'm like, oh, I'm fine with it because this IDW Turtle Run is fucking fantastic.
And I'm gonna be honest,
it is dope.
that make for a movie universe that makes the best perfect sense because technically, yeah, they're mutated, yeah, they learn language, but they were never like for that. And instead of like for us people that are diehard, we know Shredder named them, but
Master Splinter.
I mean Master Splinter. My fault. But it'd be even more dope. It's even more dope at the fact that they were all raised together. Splinter was just an older rat that was experimented on at the same time, and a little girl that happened to like them all named them and took care of them.
See, the thing too that makes it different from the movie, Splinter just found a karate book and taught them karate and shit. But in the comic book, they actually are reincarnated human beings in these mutant bodies. That's how Splinter knew Kung Fu in the comic book, because he already was a karate master, and he had 4 sons. Then they were all killed, and somehow this mutagen connected them to these bodies. That's the long story of it. But yeah,
And it's even more hilarious when we go back to the 80s versions. They just were like, oh, this little rat learned karate because he was a pet of a karate master, and just said, fuck it. Now that I'm mutated, I can do karate. I'm going to teach these other kids karate.
Hell yeah, and how to eat pizza. Moving on from that to TV and movie news, we have to give a RIP to none other than the legendary person himself, actor extraordinaire, Sir Sean Connery.
Sean Connery died?
Yes, it happened like late Halloween, was it?
Yeah, late
Saturday or something. Yeah.
Early Saturday.
Or it was a Saturday.
It
happened like late Friday, and I was sitting there like, yo, that's crazy. Like, he was older, he was 90, but still, like, when you hear one of those iconic names where they pass, it's just like, bro, because a lot of people remember him as a James Bond. I never saw him as Bond, because when I was a kid, my first Bond was Timothy Dalton. Then Pierce Brosnan.
I think so.
Yeah, then Pierce Brosnan. Now Daniel Craig, and personally Daniel Craig is my favorite Bond. But that's neither here nor less. Like, R.I.P. to him, condolences to his family. And my personal favorite Sean Connery movie probably would be like the first Highlander, because I'm a Highlander guy, and also me being black is probably Finding Forrester, because that was my shit. Like, you're the man now, dog. It was a story about a young black man that likes chess, and then he met some old white dude, and he helped him with chess, and also how being a man low-key and make sure he was out of trouble, because he lived in the inner city, and it's just one of those stories, like, no matter where you're from, we're still human. So, what are you guys' favorite Sean Connery movies?
You already said it, Finding Forrester for me.
Word.
I grew up as a chess kid, so.
Word. What about you, Tyree? You got one?
I mean, Finding Forrester was a good movie. I'm not gonna lie.
If you didn't know Tyree... Oh, I already told you he was black. Never mind. That was a spoiler.
I used to watch that movie all the time. I had it on DVD.
Hell yeah.
I remember there was like one weekend I watched it like 3 times.
Yeah, because one of them things like, yo, you can't be black and smart and still be black and achieve your goals, man. Don't let all this hood shit and these stereotypes and the white man's thinking about you affect who you really are.
And it was
Be
even
better.
more dope, too, because you thought that Sean Connery was going to be some racist-ass white dude in the whole
Exactly.
movie, but no. Don't judge a book by its cover, which also he kept on telling Forrester, and Forrester had to keep on reapplying that to his knowledge. I just realized, was Finding Forrester instead of us having the magic black Negro with Sean Connery, the magic white man?
Oh, shit, he was a Magic Scott. Yo.
Oh my God.
Yo, that is roles reversed.
That
Or
is
some
the-
people say it's the white Jesus Saviors trope. But at the same time, I'm not going to disrespect Sean.
That was not no white Jesus Savior.
So, he came in there like,
He came in there just
I'm
like,
a teacher the ways of the chessboard.
we gonna learn our views are different, but yet the same at the same time.
Hell yeah, and they ate soup together.
Bruh.
That nigga made a mad good grilled cheese. But for real, so R.I.P. man.
R.I.P.
Your legacy will live on, and all of us, and all the great memories you gave us from your talent. And yeah, so that happened, and also Netflix has finally got the Chappelle Show. That's on Netflix
Comedy
now.
Central finally sold it to
I
him?
guess, or they lost the rights, or Netflix was like, yo, we'll pay for all that shit, because low key, I have been planning on rewatching that whole series, because I know eventually next year we will be doing a whole episode about the Chappelle Show. And for a lot of these youngsters, they don't know anything about Chappelle post leaving the show and going to Africa because it's a whole new generation, unlike us who grew up with the specials. Robin Hood, Men in Tights, of course.
The greatest black movie of all time, Undercover Brother.
That too. Half Baked for the stoners.
I have to say Half Baked is the greatest black movie of all time.
I wouldn't even say that.
The
That don't
greatest
count for
stoner
me.
movie of all time.
Yeah, it's a black movie. We about to talk about the greatest black movie of all time.
Yeah, we
on this
are.
week's episode.
This might be the true.
Now we all know Baps is the greatest black movie of all time.
Pootie Tang is the greatest black movie of all time.
Yes, Sadate. How can we forget
Black
Sadate?
Dynamite.
No.
Booty Tang out
Booty Tang
big
is the
like
greatest black
Dynamite.
movie. You look up black movie right now. Type that. Daniel, can you just type in black movie for me, please? Can you do that? So Pootie Tang. It's hot outside.
Sadate. You think Black Dynamite gangster? No.
The first one is Black Panther.
Okay, I'm cool. I won't argue that.
Pootie Tang's not even on the top list.
Because the white man don't want you to know about
Daniel.
Pootie and all the time.
Black
I'd rather-
Panther, Moonlight, Black Klansman, 13th, Sorry to Bother You, Queen and Slim, Selma, and Black is King.
Oh, they doing modern
See,
black. They doing
that ain't
modern
the
black
real
list.
black.
That ain't the black list. That's just when you type it. That's Google
Avengers
algorithm.
Endgame.
I'm gonna show up the time on my
Yeah,
job
Avengers
black.
Endgame
We
better
talking
end up on the
about,
black
yo,
list.
I ain't coming
Men
in
in
black.
Friday.
Malcolm X.
Boys in the Hood, Barbershop, The Wiz, House Party, Don't Be a Menace to Society.
Glory.
Soul Food.
Set It Off.
Wait, hold
Man,
on.
y'all
Wait,
niggas-
wait, go back. No, wait, go back. There's one I gotta read out loud.
Hold on. Hollywood Shuffle, House
Hollywood
Got Her
Shuffle, good
Groove
one.
Back.
Go back.
Waiting to Excel.
Wait. Sweet Backs Badass Song. What the hell is that jigabooness?
It's from 1971.
Oh yeah, that was
hell
hella.
yeah.
Poetic Justice.
Poetic Justice.
Drumline,
Yo.
Get Out.
I still can't believe that nigga had dyslexia.
Love and Basketball. That was
Love
good.
and Basketball.
Love
was
and
a good
basketball. I still don't like how they gamble for the.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a black
Cause he could
man.
have dunked on that girl.
Coming to America.
I'm gonna be honest. As a black man, I did not like loving basketball.
Because you
The
couldn't
Butler.
relate because
You don't play basketball.
Exactly. so
That,
it's cool.
but yet also
Now he was loving anime.
true. But yet
Coming to
also the
America.
pure fact of the reason that this nigga left her, and then came. She still just waited, and then came back and was like, "Bitch, my knee hurt."
There's a lot of
It
movies
still
not on
coulda
this
just-
list.
There's a lot of movies.
I'm gonna go to the top 100 best black movies of the
Man.
21st
All right,
century.
well, when you find Pootie Tang, let us know what number
that is,
because
so
we
we
got to
can-
continue
so
this
we got
show.
this debate.
Because also, The Craft 2 came out over this week. Too.
Came out on Halloween, which I thought it was supposed to be coming out next
And we
year in
still
theaters.
got. Do you see how much it was rent for on Amazon?
It was I don't know, it was only on Vudu. I didn't
Oh,
look
it's
at
on
it.
Voodoo. Okay,
I know
have to
Vudu
look.
had you could get both of them at the same time.
Word.
Craft and Craft Legacy.
And I fucks with Craft. I ain't even watch it yet, but by the time this comes out, I'll have seen it. I will talk about it on next week's podcast. And also, speaking of things that's being back, cut that boy Mando and Baby Yoda,
And
Fredito,
not only
for
just
the
them
culture.
two,
So
for
now
the
his
culture.
name isn't Baby Yoda anymore.
It's Verdito.
it's the child.
Yeah, because
It's always been Verdito.
It's always been the child.
We
but
dubbed
then-
it on our network as Fredito before he was even dubbed the child.
Mm-hmm.
And those special episodes of review for that series should be up on the YouTube page coming up this week because we will be starting our recap series for season 2.
Yay.
Yeah, I will talk about that off mic to you guys.
And I
'cause
get to
just thought
join
about
in.
something.
Also,
Yes.
yes, we do have to talk about that off mic because low key.
You better talk about all mic right now. Yeah, I know what your low key mean.
I like
Low-key,
what
I'm
that
about to talk
theory.
about
I
it.
like what that theory is that's going around with that end scene.
Man, you know how I feel about theories. But yes, Mandalorian is back. Y'all need it, motherfuckers better been watching it. If you ain't watched first season, catch up on that shit. That shit
Oh.
come out Fridays, just like our episodes. Ooh, ooh.
And a fun, crazy fact: Pop Socket out here already dropping Mandalorian season 2 Pop Socket covers.
Pootie Tang's not on the list.
Pootie Tang ain't make the list. See,
Because it is the list.
Is Dope on the list?
Yeah.
Is The Wood on the list?
You went through 100 movies already?
I'm going through them right now.
Okay, you ain't go through them all then.
I'm going through it again.
Okay, do it one
wait,
more
is he
time.
through black people or through whites?
They don't let us know. They don't let us on the internet.
So
See
That's
who
why
is-
we never been there.
See who is written by and then Google them. If they white, don't trust that list.
It's Tana
Oh, that movie just came out. They had. I don't even want to talk about this shit. But you know what? I do want to talk
Years ago.
about some music that came out over the week, guys.
Oh, what music came out over
Ariana
the
Grande.
week?
Ariana Grande's album came out. Positions. Which, if you fuck with Ariana Grande's music like I do, it's a good album. She makes bop. She has not made a bad album yet. Position is my new song to try to get a girl to dance for me to in the privacy of her own room while I pay more attention to the comic books on my wall. But yeah, it's something to do and it's something
First
to say.
off.
And you can't have a good stand-up big without the material, and the best material come from life. So yo, if you're interested, girl, I got you. And also, Omarion dropped the album called Connections, with connection spelled like kinetic energy. It's a whole vibe. It's on some like West Indies, Jamaican, Afrobeat type shit. I fuck with it. And Busta Rhymes dropped Extinction Level Event 2, which I have not listened to yet.
Not yet.
It's
man.
Not
amazing.
yet. Have you?
It is amazing.
Word, okay. So for the old school hip hop heads, that's like their new
You know what
Bob.
I'm saying? There's
Tyree is an old head.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
know.
is.
See, I'm glad you're on this one.
So there's Anderson .Paak on the album.
Ooh.
Rick Ross.
I know MG. I know
Q-
him and M got
Q-Tip.
track.
Q-Tip? Oh, Q. gotta
Um,
go. Do we get a three-step verse?
Mariah Carey.
Oh,
he got
word.
Mariah
That
He
is
got
good.
he got Mary J. Blige.
Ooh.
Every one of them.
Yeah, it's an album. You need to listen.
For real, nigga. I'm like, yo.
He got Chris Rock on the intros.
Oh.
Chris Rock on the intro.
I mean, you just
Gotta have rock.
it's hilarious every time he's on there. Just saying, Busta Rhymes album is pretty good.
Word.
And we're still on the old school. De La Soul dropped a new single.
Yo.
Remove 45. And the cover looked dope because it say re-elect 45. But then they said underneath the elect is spray painted move.
Word.
So fuck Trump.
Hell yeah, cause moving from music to YWDCA 11, the playlist for this month of November, I do have the new single from Busta Rhymes featuring Kendrick Lamar titled
that too.
Look Over Your Shoulder, sampling my sensei, the boy, the one and only king, Michael Jackson, from back when he was with the Jackson 5 and had the fro. And I'm like, yo, that shit slaps. Never could go wrong with Kendrick. Then Kendrick and Busta together. It worked so well.
Did you put that 7S slow on there too?
Which one?
Ferris wheel.
I didn't. Only reason I didn't because it's a new single, but it came out
On the last album.
But I still could put it in because I didn't see that they released it as a single for this month.
But was it? I thought it just was only their version. I don't remember Maya Jane on.
It could be a remix too.
Yeah.
And also Motive from Ariana Grande featuring Doja Cat on the playlist. A song called Plain featuring Beanie, Lily Allen, and my new favorite female rapper Flo Milli. That track bops.
You put the new Future song on.
Oh
there?
yeah, that Tweaking.
That's Stripes from Lil Freaky.
Oh, I ain't heard that one, but Tweaking by Doughboy, Southside, and Futures on there. Also, I Like the Way You Die by my new favorite California beach punk group, Black Honey.
All girl group or
I think there's a dude in it, but
Okay.
I didn't pay attention to the
cover?
picture like that. But there was a female mouth on it. But word. That's how I got enticed by that shit. Then there's a new track called Interstellar by the Avalanches and Leon Bridges.
Ooh.
That's soulful, man. And also my new favorite cover song, which has made this Beatles song my third favorite Beatles song behind number 1 being Yesterday, 2 being Hey Jude. But it's Eleanor Rigby by Gunship. That's a whole mood. I knew it was a hit because I played it for my whites at one of the kickbacks at the crib. I'm like, let me test this out because the whites like it. I know it's good. Put it on. They're like, ooh.
Actually, I do have a confession to make too.
What is this? Like, yeah, I knew you like it. Gotta know your peoples. You gotta know your people.
Trippie Redd dropped Pegasus, and I did listen to the Trippie Redd Busta Rhymes track on that album.
So did you listen to the whole album?
I ain't listened to the whole
Because sometimes
album.
me and Trippie Redd, like some of his shit be rocking with it, but he switches up the sound so much in one album. Like it go for some emo rap, then it go to some trap, and then it goes some yelling rage type shit, and then next thing you know, he's playing like a piccolo or some shit. Like be too many moves too quick.
It be
all over the place. I'm like, it's not cohesive for me for the most part. But I don't hate on him. There's some of his songs I do fuck with, but as far as like a whole project, it's hard for
one
me
of
to.
those things to ride along because it's a roller coaster.
Somebody had to give me a list of tracks from him for me to fuck with. I can't just sit through an album because I'm like, nah, I can't. I'm gonna start skipping. Then once you start skipping, you already lost because you can't sit through a whole thing.
And ain't gon' front. Lil Durk, Black, and Young Thug on the album together. On the track together. I never thought
What's
that
it
would be. It's that Stay Down.
I might have that.
That might be on last month
Yeah,
because
it might
it
be on
dropped like a few days. Well, it dropped a date on the 30th.
Yeah, so basically all this shit dropped on the 30th too. But I was like, it's basically the first, so I'm not gonna do that and come out here and tell you to listen to our old podcast where it's still got the old music on it. So anyway, that's been music, and also that's been
one more.
Oh no, you good.
Go ahead,
Album
hit
that, or
Go ahead.
song came out.
Go ahead, spit that.
T.I. and E40 came out with.
Oh yeah,
the
that's on there too. Fuck, I forgot about
oh shit.
a stand up featuring not Jordan Lucas, but no, what's it? Jordan Lucas?
it's Jordan. Yeah,
I stand on that.
I stand
on that featuring Jordan Lucas.
Cause I get Jordan Lucas confused with what you call it? Who's the nigga that played Method Man Wu-Tang? Oh shit.
You know what's sad? They got all these niggas about it.
Oh,
it's Dave East.
Yeah, Dave East. Always get them two niggas mixed up for some reason. They both tall and light skinned. They're like the Omar Epps and Mekhi Phifer rap music for being shit. Black reference. But anywho, that's been Yo What's Poppin'. And now we about to get to Yo Geeking Out. And now we about to geek out about this
untouchable movie with the greatest album soundtrack.
Yo.
Motown, thank you.
Without doubt, the undisputed Negro classic of the 80s. You can't tell me this is not an amazing film. You cannot say this is not what America is about.
This is what black culture
Can't
is,
tell
baby.
me anything other than it's purely a masterpiece of cinema.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ross said, from the music to the action to the acting to the feel to the je ne sais quoi to the feng shui of it to this auras, the chakras of this whole.
And if y'all been hearing us, we've been giving y'all the hints this whole entire time.
We've trying to do.
And honestly, one of the greatest movies of all times that it has the greatest. I honestly think this is one of the greatest lines is the part of the reason why Converses was popping so hard.
Hell yeah. And it's none other than 1985. Also the year I came alive.
Barry Gordon's
Yep.
The Last Dragon.
The Last Dragon.
With Bruce Leroy?
No.
He was
Leroy
given the nickname
Green.
Bruce Leroy.
Okay,
His true name was Leroy Green.
What am I pulling up?
Oh, just the time to see what we're working with.
It's 909.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Ooh.
I know.
Boy, I know time. They talk about color people not showing up. The boy is here. Right where we need to be. But yes, The Last Dragon. And if you're not familiar with The Last Dragon, let me surmise this by saying real quickly. Kung Fu, black people, the 80s, music, beautiful woman, pop locking, stereotypes. Super Saiyan.
It is technically a Super
Because
Saiyan.
I ain't gonna sit here and tell y'all the whole movie if you never seen the movie. Go out there and see this movie. I bought it for $5 at the Walmart $5 movie box bin. And guess what? Best $5 I ever spent outside of anything. You know what? I'm not gonna say all that. I'm gonna keep this classy.
And for most people that's just wondering why is it so great and so influential in black culture, just the 80s and all that. Just to give y'all a heads up, at this time and period, everybody knows Kung Fu movies were the thing. Everybody also knows at this time and period, Motown was the biggest record company out there. It was the Def Jam of music.
No, Def Jam was the Motown of rap. Don't belittle Motown like that.
I know, but I'm just saying.
I know you just saying I'm saying.
These young folks don't know that and need to know about that. But yeah.
Word.
It's great. And for most people that's just like, so where's the stereotypes? Just think how stereotypes were used in the 90s. Just up it up a little bit more because it was the 80s.
In some fashions, how these stereotypes still are used today. One of the stereotypes being, because you already know how we do. This is not going to be very structured. We don't be all over the place. But there's a character named John, and he basically tells Leroy, who is also his friend and his master, like, man, I don't really have to know Kung Fu because I'm Asian. The only thing I do is
do some moves, some shouts,
do some big eye shit,
some crazy eyes, and people ain't gonna.
They gonna fuck with me because they grew up watching Bruce Lee. They're like, oh, he's Asian. He doing all that shit. He's posturing himself like he know what you're doing, so they just back off. And that's true. Tyree, why do you love The Last Dragon?
Well, my reason for loving The Last Dragon is because all my family's from New York, and it's based in Harlem.
Yes.
The villain Yeah, he calls himself the
The
Shogun
Shogun
of
of
Harlem.
Harlem.
He just answered that question.
So and then my other favorite part is Show Enough because he's the best villain of all time.
Yeah,
bad.
show
for no
enough.
for no good reason. He's just great.
Exactly. Like he comes into the movie in a movie theater. Like who is the master? Like he comes in there looking for Bruce Leroy.
And what's even more hilarious about this whole jump off is some little kid says something. They pick up the little kid. The little kid points to Leroy. And instead of just putting the little kid down, he gives him to the person to the right of him, he was giving to him from his left side. And they just pass the little boy on down. So once the little boy gets set down, he got to walk past all these motherfuckers to get back to his seat. I'm like, all right, this little kid can't do nothing about it. Leroy gets intimidated. He's eating. Still don't know why he got 4 chopsticks on him all the time.
He's Bruce Leroy. He's Asian in every sense. Of course, he's in
That
the
is
movie
true.
theater eating with popcorn with
with
chopsticks because that's
chopsticks.
why his brother called him a cornball, a loser, because he does all this weird shit. Because once again, Bruce Leroy is a young black man in 1985 Harlem, New York, dressed like Bruce Lee. If you black and dress anything other than black, you're automatically a weirdo.
Except for Show Enough.
Because he could whoop your ass. That's why. Unless you can whoop your ass. That's why Prince could dress the way he wanted to. Andre 3000 could dress the way he wanted to. You had to be ready to fight. I know some supernatural space voodoo magic or some shit. Where motherfuckers just don't fuck with you. But Bruce Leroy was unbothered by Show Enough because he was trying to find the master. Because the movie starts off with Bruce Leroy basically
Finishing his last training from his master.
completing his mission overall. So he maxed out all his stats.
And so deep into Asian culture that even his Asian teacher's just like, dude, you're just doing all the stereotypical Asian movie tropes. You don't need to do that. You finished your training. You need to... Literally, he hints to him that he needs to go on and discover himself. But he's so used to karate, learning from your master, gaining more wisdom from somebody else that... His master basically sets him on a full trip.
Exactly. He sends him on a quest with a fortune cookie to find the master. And Bruce Leroy thinks he actually had to go to where the fortune cookie is made to find the master because the master's there. So the whole movie he's trying to figure out how to get to the master. Then you kind of find out, spoiler, the master's not really there. And this whole banter between him and these Asian dudes that run the fortune cookie place. And while this is going on, Show Enough is looking for Leroy because Show Enough let it be known that Bruce Leroy has been ducking him in the streets, that Show Enough wants to smoke, because Show Enough, we don't know where he's been, but he just says most of the time he's just got back into town. He's looking for Leroy. He ain't been here for a minute. Now I'm back. I need to remind people why I am the Shogun of Harlem and why he's the master, because the theme of master gets brought up multiple times. It's the running theme in the movie as well.
And what's even more hilarious is the reason why he wants to show Bruce Leroy that he the master is because rumor went around all of Harlem that Bruce Leroy caught a bullet with his own teeth.
Exactly, because there's Bruce Leroy has so much clout about him in the streets. Cause everybody talking about this kid Bruce Leroy and he's the new dragon. And there's one line with Show Enough say, "All you little lizards think you the last dragon." He called him a little lizard because he think he's the dragon. Little lizard dragon. Show Enough talked the best shit in the whole movie. He told this nigga Bruce Leroy to kiss his Converse. You never ask a man to kiss your Converse or to put his mouth on your body unless you really want that shit to happen, because that shit is disrespectful in the hood in most circles. You don't do certain things. And Bruce Leroy kissed the shoe like, oh, this.
No, he didn't kiss the shoe. He got kicked in the face. Well,
but he was about to. He was about to. That's
what's even more crazy is he only made him do this such a disrespectful thing was because Bruce Leroy wouldn't bow for him, and his Asian homeboy got himself caught up, and he'll do it for his friends and not to harm other people. Which still even more hilarious because the only time before, the inevitable fight scene between Bruce Leroy and Show Enough, Bruce Leroy preaches about not fighting, but will fight a hooligan gang to protect the DJ of a club, but yet just not any type of DJ. She had a TV show that was a make or break for artists and music.
Because these kids
that was shot outside the
this
club.
generation don't know these references about that I'm about to make, but y'all didn't grow up with TRL, so this was like an 80s version of TRL. Going further back, it was like an 80s version of 106 Apart. Going back before that, it was like Video Control with Donnie Soul on BET. Basically, you had a DJ promoting videos where also it was a club, and then you had the music being played, and she was like the baddest chick, and she was like the baddie right now. Just imagine if like Nicki Minaj was a radio DJ where she played the videos. Everybody, every dude wanted her, every woman wanted to be her, for lack of better words. But somehow, she fell in love with Bruce Leroy, and he didn't even know any moves. How did you feel about Bruce Leroy when you was watching it growing up and him not knowing moves? Did that make you feel away, or did that make you relate to him more, Tyree?
It made me relate more because, growing up, people don't tell you a lot of things about
Exactly.
how to be black and what black people need to be. But they assume you're supposed to be a certain way.
Exactly. And Leroy was just an oddball, period, so she obviously was digging him. And he was like, I don't know what to do, so I'm going to just get my medallion and be a ninja and vanish. And she's just like, bro, you could be my bodyguard. He's like, no, I can't. I'm not a master yet. She's like, bro, you look like a master to me. Like, nah, you don't understand. I have to find the master. And he's so caught up in being a master in his head, he don't realize that this beautiful woman is into him. Well, then you have the whole subplot of his younger brother think his big brother is the wackest dude around, and he also a pop locker, and he trying to get inside the club to impress.
Oh no,
the
they
video
get
chick.
inside the club.
Well, they
He's
do.
trying to win that.
I'm talking about before they get in, they were trying to get in because he's in love with this woman, and next thing you know, his brother's backing her. So now like, yo, this jive ass turkey has got his lips all over my woman.
Oh,
He
that's
came
cool.
a pop lock. You want to do this kung fu shit? That kung fu shit don't save nobody. This ain't no movie. Fucking Hong Kong fooey ass boy. But yeah.
But not just only that part when he seemed mad, it's even the great scene when Shonup goes to they dad's mom and pop.
Leroy's Pizzeria.
Leroy's Pizzeria.
Hey, my man. Hey, my man. What it do, my man? What it do, my man?
But he goes in there, he's like,
My
where
man,
that where that punk Leroy at? And he's like, I'm Leroy Green. He's like, nah, he a little bit younger and lighter. And great moment, they do point out Leroy is the light skin out the whole family, the oldest.
He is too. He the oldest. He
The oldest in light.
I don't know what mama was doing. Maybe he was light because he had the glow the whole time.
But he had to glow the whole time.
Oh, he had the inner light because he was the master.
More shit.
Oh shit! Damn.
And what's even more cool and acceptable
Yo.
about this movie was only his brother saw him wear it. His little sister Sophie, which was just a little girl.
Also, she was played by Keisha Knight Pullman, aka Rudy Huxtable from The Cosby Show.
Which was technically her first movie her first movie debut.
True.
But his mom and dad, little sister, all didn't care about Leroy being the way he is.
And that's what's dope about having a family that supports you, even though you're quote unquote the eyeball. Like they don't care as long as you're a good person. Be weird.
And that's
Just
literally
be weird
all
and an
he was doing.
asshole. Don't be weird and eat people's faces. Just be weird and in the Bruce Lee shit. Like ain't hurting nobody. And also, Leroy was a responsible man that had his own dojo, so he had his own job too, and he's also helping kids be constructive in their life by focusing their energy into martial arts instead of being on the street doing crack or selling drugs, because it was the 80s. Thank you, Reagan.
But also Show Enough had a dojo, but his dojo was different.
Yo, he had the whole Kumite. Like, all right, so if you ain't seen the movie, y'all fault. When they start fighting, because the movie fight broke out in the movie theater, because Show Enough was trying to fight. So these dudes start trying to fight. Show Enough kicked one dude in the face, put him in ankle lock. They literally bit his Achilles.
He first said you ain't gonna use this foot no more.
And bit his
snapped both his foot back and forth, and then bit the Achilles heel. And then looked at looked at Bruce Leroy while he leaving and said, "I'm gonna find you, sucker, and I'm gonna kill you." Only for the next day for him to fuck up their dad's mom and pop joint.
Yeah,
and
the whole pizzeria.
I will honestly say Shonuff has his own gang, greatest gang ever.
Because he doesn't discriminate, because there are blacks, browns, whites, and women's in his gang.
And what's so great is he was like, oh, Bruce Leroy a punk. He don't want to fight Crunch, Beast, or
Cyclone.
So guess what? Since he a sissy, How about we give him something more of his speed? Girls fight him. Only
Yo,
for
that
one.
was sexist as fuck too.
Only for one of the girls to be like, "Oh, he cute, but he ain't got no hands. Oh, he don't know what he's gonna do."
Yo. And that
like,
shit's fucking hilarious.
They just like, "Oh, he a good piece of meat." I'm just like, yo, these bitches is intimidating him.
Exactly.
And just
Because he
calling
don't
them,
got no moves.
and then calling them cute all at the same time. How
He's
you gonna
never
call
been
this
with a
nigga
woman.
cute and won't beat him up? It's so great.
And then you flash to the part of the movie where Eddie Arcadian, one of the best villain names ever. Eddie Arcadian is trying to recruit people to beat up Bruce Leroy because he keep interfering with him because he's trying to get Vanity, whose character in the movie's name is Laura Charles. He's trying to get her so she can play all his artists' music, and one of his artists being his girlfriend, Angela, which doesn't have talent. But he's like, if you don't have talent, I'm going to buy the station and force them to play your music. So he goes through all this auditions for a henchman. Then he gets to Show Enough, and Show Enough like, oh, keep your money. I'll kill that sucker for free. I will get Leroy. And I know somewhere in his Show Enough dungeon, he had a wolf or a bear or some type of big-ass animal chained up. Because no way he was just out there in a normal lair. Like, he beat this dude. Then he's like, should I kill him? Should I kill him? Like, yeah, he just killed this dude. What this dude is?
He beat up a dude and then told his people picked his body up and
they just slid his body out.
Slid his body off the dojo mat.
Yeah.
But not only just do we have silly shit like that, we have even more great things like we don't know if Eddie Arcadian's sidekick henchman
named Rock,
who he basically first used as his get rich scheme, loses all of his fighting matches to the fact that his dude was named the Great Whiteless Hope.
Yes, that was low-key hilarious. Like, yo.
And he gave him a fucking piranha.
That's the thing.
We don't even know what this creature is.
That's one of the biggest mystery in black movies. It's the number one is, did Craig really steal those boxes? Because he said, Craig said he didn't steal them boxes.
No.
But at the same time, they say they got him on camera.
The thing is, if you rewatch it, I just found out
I know about Ezell running with it, but that still don't mean Ezell took them boxes from Craig's job either. That just shows
kind of
Ezell
true. That's just
boxes.
Ezell running with boxes.
And what the fuck was in that tank? Was it a piranha? We don't know. It's just filled with green, bluish water, and something is in that.
Oh, there's also one more. In 7, we don't know what was in the box.
Oh, 7 don't count as a black movie.
I still need to know what's in the box.
What was in the box?
It was a head.
It's his wife's head.
I was a young child.
But everyone knows that.
Now I'm not a young child named Roscoe.
But you're an adult now.
Shit.
Well, you know that now.
I ain't feel like
the truth
going
is
back.
written.
All I kept.
It's Gwyneth Paltrow's head.
And also, can white man really jump? I don't know.
Woody proved one kind.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, they could get off the ground.
Also, is it possible really to pass your spirit via touch and kill people?
That happened in Fallen. But also, we can't talk about this movie without talking about the soundtrack. First and foremost, like I said, Laura Charles played by Vanity. If you didn't know, Vanity was also a real artist in the 80s.
Great.
She found her tutelage underneath Prince. She has a song on the soundtrack called Seventh Heaven.
Great.
Also, the classic 80s song Rhythm of the Night by The Barge is on there. I just realized listening to it this Sunday before, doing this episode, I was like, the song Upset Stomach on A Broken Heart, like, that dude sounds very familiar. Like, it sounds like somebody's being Stevie Wonder. Like, did they get like a white dude to do a Stevie impersonation? Oh, once I Googled it, it is actually Stevie Wonder on the soundtrack. And then we have the two major songs from the movie. One being The Last Dragon by Dwight David, and second being Glow by Willie Hutch.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to ask you, Tyree, out of those two songs, Glow or The Last Dragon, which one personally is your favorite?
I have to say with Glow.
Glow.
You got the glow.
You got to know. Then you get the, if you got the,
If you got to go, you got the flow.
For real. Get that 80s rhyme. What about you, Ross, out of the two?
Well, the only song that gets covered by multiple people, The Glow.
Word.
But I still love The Last Dragon.
The Last Dragon has that 80s, like,
It has,
you got that touch, feel like you just know what you're getting into. Like,
yeah, it's actually good observation because they literally do it just like
It's the
the
double pack
86 Transformers,
'cause you
where
have-
they'll keep they'll have the Last Dragon play throughout this movie to let you know the transition of the growth of
Optimus
Leroy,
Prime.
just like how they did the Touch with Optimus Prime and
also because in Transformers you had the Touch and Dare. Those are the
two big hits.
The two big hits, just like the Last Dragon and Glow. And speaking of the Glow, so Leroy has been looking for the master the whole movie. He's talks to lore about the Glow and what it means when somebody masters themselves, mind, body, and soul, and connect and become one. Which the song, of course, is the 80s. It describes all that shit. So once he finally starts fighting Sho'nuff, he beats Sho'nuff, quote unquote. It's like a video game. You beat the boss in his first stage, and then you think it's up. Then like, then Sho'nuff come with his Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, like, ha ha ha. Then he turn around and he gone.
Well, the thing is, Bruce Leroy is always, as stated at the beginning from Sho'nuff, he's the master elusive Bruce Leroy. So Bruce Leroy's always been able to just duck and dodge and slide away from things. So when Bruce thinks he got Sho'nuff uses Bruce Lee's trick on him.
Because Sho'nuff is a master in his own rights himself.
Yes.
And that the movie, when he first comes into the movie, he's like, am I the master? Sho'nuff. Am I the prettiest? Sho'nuff. And I'm the baddest mofo. So he starts out by saying he's the master. Then when he beats up Leroy, because he brings out the Glow, and Leroy like, what the fuck is this
How'd
shit?
you master the
How
Glow
you get the Glow
already?
and you a bad guy? You shouldn't have the Glow, because Sho'nuff got the Glow in his hands and it's red. And Sho'nuff is also wearing red. And it also relates to the dark side of the Force if you look at it in that parallel too. Vader had that red lightsaber, like, vroom, vroom, vroom. Even when Sho'nuff was striking Bruce Leroy, it sounded like some lightsaber shit, like,
And also rewatching it, even though it only showed on his hands, he also had him on his feet.
No,
Because whenever he did his kicks,
well, it's not his own body. He only could. It's like the Iron Fist.
Yeah.
He only could direct it to certain parts of his
the
body.
body.
So when he kicked him, he took the force from his hands and
Yeah.
distributed it through his feet and whooped Bruce
Whole
Leroy's
body.
whole ass. But then when he's about to drown this nigga, Sho'nuff is waterboarding this boy Bruce Leroy. Then of course we get the montage of him hearing everybody like, "Yo, the master's within. You're finding the place you ain't looked yet. You look like a master to me. This, that, and the third." Then Bruce Leroy realized he's the master, and then he gets the Glow. And like they say, you seen the meme on Facebook, Black History moment. Bruce Leroy was the first nigga to turn Super Saiyan, and he had that Glow. As soon as he started whooping Sho'nuff ass, Sho'nuff couldn't get his Glow back. It didn't want to work right.
He had his glow, but it wasn't
Yeah, 'cause
strong
Bruce
enough
Leroy
to
fucked up
get
his
that
chakra.
Bruce Leroy shit.
Because he
though.
fell out of it. He wasn't
wasn't
properly
fully focused.
connected to it. That's why you don't have it partially. But Bruce Leroy showed him once you are a full master, you master it completely. You are everything, and your aura is what? Golden. Because that's what you become when you are truly the one and you have the true Glow. And Bruce Leroy whoops his ass. And then at the end, that boy Eddie Arcadian pull out that pistol, be like, yeah.
Well, he
that's-
already had it, but
yeah,
he just
it's
was
like,
like-
it's all fun and dandy in them kung fu kicks, but what you gonna do to a bullet, motherfucker? Then shoot Bruce Leroy. Then like, yeah, got your dumb ass.
Walks up closer, inspect the body, flips
Exactly.
it around.
Bruce Leroy just turns his head, smiles, whole bullet in between his teeth, smiles, end of the movie more or less.
Well,
But,
he
yeah.
whoops Eddie Arcadian.
of course, he hit him with a
captures
wild ass rabbit punch, but it's just like,
Yo,
yo.
that shit was
My
hilarious.
question is though, when did Bruce Leroy first find out he could catch bullets with his teeth? Like, I want to know when that happened. Were you trying to catch a bullet, or was that like a happy accident? And it's him without the Glow too. This is Glow free.
Yeah,
So this normal human
So
teeth
yeah, this
catching
is
that
when
bullet.
no, when he caught that bullet, he still had the glow on.
No, I'm talking about he didn't have the Glow prior to that.
So
the
yeah, I
first
need
time-
to.
yeah, that's what
I
I'm
need to
saying.
know what person
I
saw.
follow her on Instagram. I do.
I just need
I
to
know
know
the
what
guys.
person said the rumor Bruce Leroy
Drunk
could catch a
teeth.
bullet with his mouth, with his teeth.
And the whole story talked about it.
We know he didn't do it.
You the little nigga out there catching bullets in his teeth.
And what's funny is he doesn't correct nobody on any of the crazy lore about him. He just be like da 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 da.
Let people talk. Let people talk. All right, so that's gonna bring this segment of Yo, we geeking out to the end. So of course, after we geek out about something, we have to give our recommendations and yo, check it out. So now for all the people out there that watched The Last Dragon, we're gonna suggest some things that you check out. Ross, what about you? What would you recommend to the people?
Well, as we stated earlier, just because of soundtrack and story and develop, I'm gonna have to go with the '86 Transformers. It's just
Word.
right there on the books.
Geek 2. That's what's up.
Yeah, you're.
What about you, Tyree? What would you recommend people check out if they are a fan of The Last Dragon?
Pootie Tang.
Pootie Tang. Pootie. Tang, tang, tang. You want to give a little explanation why? Just
I mean, there's action in that movie. It's a comedy, just like Last Dragon is.
it is actually.
It's an action
You-
comedy.
this
It's
is
actually
low-key-
strong comedy. It is
It's
probably
low-key
the.
like the modern day.
You know, and
Pootie had his thing.
he had to,
Just let
and
it look.
Pootie Tang had to learn a lesson, just like Bruce Leroy.
Oh my
Yo,
God! It
and
is.
Dirty D is kind of like showing up because he Dirty D. Damn it.
And literally, what you call it? Wanda Sykes' character was technically Biggie Shorty was
Was like,
technically
Laura.
no
Yeah, Laura Charles. Yeah, Vanity.
Vanity.
Had to nurse him
Yeah,
back to health. Oh, and she
nursed
took
him
out
back
the
to health,
movie.
and she always knew, and she always had news on the streets and
And
the
Pootie Tang-
music.
Yo,
Cause she
that
she was only just streaming her music, that she liked.
yo, that blew my mind. Yo, Pootie Tang is like the Last Dragon. Mad respects.
Only
See,
difference
that's why I'm
is
glad you're here. I would
only
never thought
difference
about
is
that shit.
Pootie had a gang with him. Well, technically,
He had a
Bruce
squad,
Leroy had
Yeah,
a
he
squad.
had a
Technically,
squad.
at the when we get to the end of the movie.
Word. So for my recommendation, it would be none other than Netflix The Get Down. It takes place in the late 70s, early 80s. Involves music, kung fu, and action, and hip hop. If you haven't seen The Get Down, definitely check it out. I'm so sad to this day that it did get canceled, but it came out during when Netflix was still in its early stages, and they put way too much money into it.
But it was but it was the money that made it show how much good love it was.
Exactly,
invested
but
into
they
it.
overspent on that. But if they would have did it now, I think
It would've been-
it would still be going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. With that being said, that's gonna bring this episode of
Yo,
Where the Captions at to a E and to the D. And as always, we respect you guys and appreciate you for listening. Thank you, Tyree, for being on the show. Hopefully, it's not your last time being a guest. I hope that you do tell your family, especially everybody in Harlem, to check it out, listen, follow us on whatever services they can. One day, maybe I could go up there to Harlem with you one time. I haven't been to New York.
You haven't
Be
been
there.
to New York?
I haven't been to
You
New York.
definitely need to go.
I did. We gotta go one time, man. Do the whole thing. You show me the places. We get some chopped cheese, bro. Hit up a bodega too.
What is
You
chopped
heard?
cheese?
I don't know, some New York shit. That's what they talk about. I just want to do that shit. You know, Jesus and Mero. Like, yerp. I gotta see Marcy, Ben-Star, Do or Die, Staten Island, Strong Island, Shaolin, all that shit. Take a ferry, hop on the 6 train, get off the 8, Brooklyn, Queens, Marcy, son. All the places the rappers talk about. I want to see all that shit.
You'd be in New York forever trying to.
I know, right? I want to see a pizza rat. I want to see Master Splinter in
I
real
don't want
life.
to see a pizza rat because I just heard about this dude who fell 15 feet in a sinkhole covered in rats, and he didn't want to open up his mouth because he was afraid a rat might fall into it in New York.
Welcome to New York.
I heard that.
We've
first.
been waiting for you.
Waiting for the bus too, nigga. I could not.
Word.
The buses in New York went way better than the buses here.
No,
of
I'm
course
just
they
saying.
do.
But I
Niggas got to.
falling down
They
a
got places to
15-foot
be.
sinkhole though.
Oh, that part.
I gotta go to the One System Part 2, and I gotta see what times where TRL used to be at Times Square.
I've been to both of those places.
Word. Any last words, Ross?
Oh yes, I forgot to say this in gaming news as well as wrestling news. AEW will have a special announcement tomorrow.
Word.
I'll let that know about what it would be next week. Yeah, late
All right.
shit, but it ain't shit. Y'all can find me, you know where. Roscoe Tinkoya, all your social places, Xbox. Y'all have a great fine day. Y'all can find me at Supernova like usual.
Yeah, so I guess that's it. So, as always, guys, be one or be nothing.
Be kind, folks, and thank y'all for listening all the way through to this time. There'll be more.
Keep your hearts pure, and please don't tear down anything. America must stand up forever. Thank you.